Why did it? No, look, here's a situation. An allergy said that he told the wife that, my dear, I want to go in for a second allergy. I want to go in for a second woman. And the wife, the first one says, if you don't know, you venture, that very day, I'll poison you. Yes, face to face. He told the man. And here in Tamale, the day you go in for a second woman, I'll poison you. And he's an allergy and a director in one of the public institutions. Won't you fear that woman? Don't even attempt that you are taking a girlfriend. It's just a threat. Master, you. Some threats are very dangerous. You'll be there. All right. That's just by the way. So today, where is the connected? It's connected. Yeah, up. It's not coming. It's down. It should come. The battery is having a problem. Okay, no problem. Why are we here again? We are here again. And why are we here again? Yes. Yes, Honorable. You are warming up. What about you? You are also warming up. What about you? All of us are warming up, eh? Good. Good. Why are you here? Yes. Yes. Why are you here? It will come in the exams. Why are you here? You come in the exams. You are good. You want me to? Hey, you don't fear God. I think the last time we ended somewhere here. Is that the case? And there was a wonderful question from a wonderful lady. Who can remember? Is a lady here? Huh? Where is she? Huh? She is where? You are the one. Wonderful. I like that wonderful person. Ask again. You. Thank you. Intangible assets. Can we say human beings are also part of intangible assets? When we say something is intangible, what do we mean? When we say something is intangible, what do we mean? Or invisible, untouchable? Yes, what do we mean? Can you see human beings? Can you touch human beings? Can you feel human beings? So human beings, are they intangible or they are tangible? Tangible. They are what? So can we classify them as intangible assets? But are they assets? Human beings are not assets. They are not assets of an organization. Oh, are you sure? Then in some cases too, they are assets. And who can tell me? If you're able to tell me, I'll give you $1 million. Yes, sir.
Certain jurisdictions,
tradition,
certain practices,
certain
groups,
or
tribes, they classify human beings as an asset.
Good. I love that. That is in certain jurisdictions, in certain cultures, in certain environments, and so they classify human beings as assets. Good. That is fine. But not in accounting, eh? But not in accounting. But in accounting, under what circumstance will a human being be classified as what? As an asset? Yes. Tell me, I'll give you mark. I will exempt you from writing exams. You'll be exempted, true. Yeah, we are learning. Yes. Yes, my big man. Oh, relax, sit down, please. You are a big man, so you really sit down.
Let's say for instance, those companies that render services, give them out, let's say maybe
the loan, eh? You are almost there, but not there. You are almost there, but not there. He's almost there. In fact, I will exempt you and see me. I'll give you some 20 marks. Yes. Yes. You know these football clubs. How many of you know of what do you call it? Which one do you support? The football clubs. Which one do you support? You don't support any. So you are like me. Eh?
Yes,
you support RTU. What about the international? This is local, and you are a local man. Your dress also shows that you are local. Good. What about the international? Yes. Yes, international. Come again. Man City. Man City. Chelsea. Manchester United. Arsenal, and so on. Their assets are human beings. You don't know. Their assets. They buy them. Yes, honorable. Assets and properties. Assets are your resources, your properties, your what again? Come again. Yes, services. Whatever belongs to you is an asset. We said the last time that an asset is a resource that is owned and controlled by an entity that have economic value and can provide future economic benefit. That's an asset. Are you okay? Yes. So property, your properties, your possessions, all that you have that we can value. And if we can value and measure them and put them into the financial statement as far as accounting is concerned, then that becomes what? An asset. Whatsoever possession, whatsoever property that you have, and we can measure it, get a value for it. You can control it. You own it. You can control it. You can measure it, get a value for it. That becomes an asset. Oh, they say Ghana, we have huge natural assets or resources. In fact, last year, the chief of the paramount chief of Volta region told us that they have done a research all over the world, and they are saying that 30% of the world's natural resources is in Ghana. If you take the entire the whole world, the natural resources of the entire world, where we are all at, this earth, 30% of the natural resources can be found in Ghana or is in Ghana. And we are poor. 30% to 30%. Now, the issue is, can you measure and value these natural resources and put it in the financial statement of Ghana, even though we own and we can control the natural? We cannot measure the depth, the width, the amount of deposit in the entire country. We can't, even though we own it. We are told when there was this battle about who owns the Cape 3 Point. Cote d'Ivoire say, hey, we are the owner. Ghana say, hey, we are the owners. Eventually, Ghana won. And they say that 30 nautical miles into the sea, all the natural resources over there belong to Ghana. These are the properties and the possession of Ghana. Can we measure and value the natural resources in the sea, 30 nautical miles into the sea, and put it in our financial statement, even though we own it and we can control it? We cannot measure to get the economic benefit and put it in our financial statement. I don't know if you are getting the whole argument. So there are times you have some possessions and assets and properties and so on. If you own, but you cannot measure to get the economic value. In reality, if it's possible for us to measure the oil deposits and all the natural resources deposits in Ghana, Ghana will be the richest country in the whole world. I'm telling you, if you can measure Ghana, because 30% of the world's resources reside in Ghana. 30%, the entire whole world, take US, Europe and all that, and even in Africa, Ghana alone has 30% of the world's resources. I tell you that we are really rich. And my president will say that, yet Tisikasu, now then I come there. Oh, you have not heard it before. Yet Tisikasu, now I come there. We are sitting on gold and begging for silver. So when it comes to human beings, if you are an accountant of Man City or Chelsea, their major assets, non-current assets, that they derive, or current assets, that they derive what? Economic benefit from, is the human beings, the footballers that they buy. They buy them, become their own, and they control you. They give you a contract. You have to serve us for 2 years. Or you have not been saying that. In that instance, if you are the accountant there, you have to include that one. Oh, we bought so. Asamoah Gyan have been bought for so. It's an asset, and they'll be recovering what? What do you call benefit, economic benefit from what? Asamoah Gyan for a number of what? Years. Yes, sir. No, it's an asset. It is out. They get money from the footballers. Is that not the case? Yes. Yeah, it's not ordinary expense. It's not a revenue expense. It is what? A capital expense. We'll come and look at the difference between revenue expenditure and also what? Capital expenditure. So it's a capital expenditure, not a revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditures are operational costs that you incur in running what? The organization, the business, and so on and so forth. Come again. You don't control the employees, unlike you control those footballers that you buy. You don't control the employee. You don't own them. You can engage an employee today. Tomorrow you say, I'm annoyed with you. You have some confrontation with the employee. The employee say, I'm not happy. I can no longer work with you, and you go away. Will you go and arrest him? Will you go and do that? Yeah, that's why I'm saying that. Do we derive economic benefit? You see, when you take these footballers, for example, we derive economic benefit from the activities. It's just like the assets that we have. We derive economic benefit from the assets. Get out of it, we get profit and so on. Yes, honorable. Uh-huh. 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 Thank you. You are passed already. You do everything. Clap for him. Clap for him. You know the way he's also thinking broad, deeper way of thinking, wider way of thinking, and that is it. So it is not necessarily playing the ball, but the moment you begin to follow these people, they're also getting what? Money. Economic benefit is coming in, and so on and so forth. Master, thank you. God bless your soul, spirit, and body. All right. So that is about that. So we have current assets, non-current. So we all know what non-current asset is. What about, back to the lady's question, what about intangible asset? When we say intangible asset, what do you mean? Accountants here, can you help us? It will come in the exams. When we say intangible asset, what do you mean? Honorable? Or you are warming up? Yes, my big man. You are also warming up? Yes, yeah. An intangible asset. The assets, good. Non-monetary. You are almost there, but not there. So there are assets that you cannot see, you cannot feel, you cannot touch. You own them, and then they bring you money. I'll give us an example. So one part is correct, another part too is wrong. So I'll give you 3/5. You have done well. Good. Yes, honorable. Come again. Copyright, that's one. What is goodwill? What is goodwill? How many of you are hearing this for the first time so that we can give you a better explanation? Yeah, goodwill. This is the first time you are hearing the word goodwill. Senior. Reputation. Thank you. You are there. Like the reputation. What makes people to go for MTN and not Voda? What will make someone to come to UDS and not UCC? The reputation, the good name. Some people, the moment you mention UCC, oh, those people, University of Confusion and Contention and Controversy. You don't want to even hear cry. Because in their first degree, they are kind of experience. But the moment you mention UDS Master's Program, oh, this is a wonderful place. We have the goodwill. And it's the goodwill that is bringing the students. It says that obligations that a company must settle in future through the transfer of assets or services, liabilities. So you have assets, you also have what? Liability. When somebody say, oh, you are a liability, what do we mean? Somebody say, oh, you are an asset, what do we mean? So we are saying that liabilities are obligations that the company must settle in future. You are owing somebody. You are owing a particular organization, a particular entity. And you are supposed to settle that particular organization or entity. That becomes a liability. A liability. Some people say, oh, my children are a liability on me. Or my wife is what? A liability. So you a wife, are you a liability or you are an asset? Good. You must prove yourself whether you are an asset or a liability. So in our organization also, we are talking about what? The people that you owe. And there are two main types. We have current liabilities and also what? Non-current liabilities. So current liabilities are obligations expected to be settled within a period of what? 1 year. Within a period of 1 year. Current liabilities. The debt that you owe, that you have to settle within a period of 1 year, we normally or usually refer to them as what? Current liabilities. Example are accounts payable. When we say accounts payable, what do we mean? Simply put, it is what? Your creditors. Are you okay? Your creditors. Accounts payable. Account receivable is the same as what? Your debtors. Thank you. So accounts payable, short-term loans, accrued. When we say accrued expenses, what do we mean? Accrued expenses. What do we mean? Yes. Accruals. Almost there, but not there. Yes. Accrued expenses. It will come in the exam too. Whatever I say, it will come. You. Accrued expenses. Yes, senior. Expenses to be paid for in future. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Accumulated expenses. Thank you. Almost there. Total expenditure. Thank you. Almost there. Expenses that are due but have not been settled. So if we are using this classroom and we are supposed to pay, let's say, 1,000 Ghana at the end of the year, and at the end of the year, we are paid only 600 Ghana in our account. In our account. What is there for us to pay? The difference is what? 400, right? That 400, if you are preparing your financial statement, that particular 400 will be regarded as what? An accrued what? Expenditure. You are owing. You are owing. So if you are preparing a financial statement, you should know these things. So if the accountant comes to you and says, sir, oh, or director, we are owing so much, or the accountant say, our accrued expenses relating to maybe electricity bill is 500. You should understand what it means by what? Accrued what? Expenses. Please, are you getting it? But there are some accountants who are bad, so you need to know some of these terms. Some accountants are bad. If they want to steal, they'll come and tell you that, oh, our accrued expenses is 1,000. When you know very well that you have paid what? 600 already. We are owing 1,000. And so our accrued expense in the financial statement is 1,000. Quickly, you, the director, you can interrogate and say, accountant, do not see me as novice. I know what accrued expenditure is. We know we owe 1,000. We are paid what? 600. Why are you still putting what? 1,000 in the account as what? In the financial statement as accrued? No. What we are owing is only 400 accrued. We are saying that we should learn the language of accountants so that they don't bully us. If you don't know, you are an IT person, you don't know the language of accountant. An accountant will come and dribble you, bully you, yob you with their language. And then you say, oh, so accountant, what do we do? Accountant, what do we do? Then accountant will deceive you and say, let's do this one, let's do this one, let's do this one. At the end of the day, we write a check. And what has been happening? If you know accounting, your accountant cannot bully you. I will not put you in problem at all. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. If you know accounting, and they come with all their terms and all that, and they want to play on you, you grab them and say, Master, I know where you are going. I know where you are going. So that is it. So current liabilities and obligations, and so if you are owing what? Electricity is what? An accrued expenditure. If you are owing rent, it's also what? Accrued expenditure. If you are owing your children's school fees, it is. Are you getting the whole thing? Yes. So as an organization, if you are owing people, you have to pay. It's also accrued. Good. So we have current liabilities. So all we are saying is that when we say current, we are referring to 1 year per our accounting principle. Current liabilities refers to 1 year. Non-current, long-term obligations, long-term obligation not expected to be settled within what? 1 year. Example, long-term debt, deferred tax liabilities, and so on. Long-term debts. Loans, long-term loans. You go in for a loan and you have to pay for how many years? 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, and so on. All these are non-current what? Liabilities. They are debts that you owe. So simply put, liabilities are just debt. They are what? Debt. Liabilities are debt. Liabilities are debt. So make use of some of these terms. You go to the office and you can even ask the accountant. You can go and question the accountant, what is a liability? For the accountant to know that now you are doing what? MBA. If he's not able to define well, then you tell him that, accountant, you have forgotten it. Let me tell you what a liability is. But then you are also learning more. Then equity. Equity is also an element, one of the elements of the component of a financial statement. Are you okay? So if you take statement of financial position, we have 3 major elements. Number 1 is the assets. Number 2 is what? The liability. Number 3 is what? Equity. So these are residual interest in the assets of the company after deducting what? Liability. It represents the owner's claim, the claim of the owner on the asset of the business. Hello? The owner's claim on the assets of the business. So if you take assets, if asset is, let's say, 100 Ghana, and then you deduct what? You deduct your liabilities. Whatever that remains becomes the owner's claim. We call it equity. Hello? For the statement of financial position, where is a class rep? Where is our marker? So statement of financial position, mathematically, it is put like asset equals to what? Capital or equity plus what? Your liabilities. Or we are saying that if you have a total asset of 100, and then you take all your liabilities, what is left becomes what? Your capital or your equity. What belongs to the owners? What belongs to the owners of the organization? They lay claim on the rest of the assets. So if the liability is, let's say, 40, it means that the owner's equity or capital is what? 60. This is what belongs to the owners. Equity, they lay a claim. But when it comes to the liability, it's a claim of an outsider on the asset of the business. So we have a total asset of what? 100. There is one part that belongs to the owners. There is another part that belongs to what? The outsiders. The one that belongs to the outsiders, we refer to it as what? Liability. The one that belongs to what? The owners is referred to as equity. So bring the two together becomes what? Asset. So the asset of the company most of the time or usually are contributed by the equity and also what? Liability. So any outsider that lay claim on the asset of the business, that outsider becomes a liability. Are you okay? But if the owner lay claim on any of the assets of the business, that owner's claim is referred to as equity or capital. Hello? It will come in the exams. All right, so these are the components. Shared capital, retained earnings, and other reserves. All these are part of what? Equity. Good. The net profits and so on. Now, good. Here we are talking about the second component. This is the second component of the statement of what? A component of financial statement. And for the component of financial statement, I said number one, we have what? Statement of financial position. And it has three major elements: asset, capital, liability. Here we have what? Income. Income is also one of the major components of what? Financial statement. And what are the elements? You can see the elements here. The income statement summarizes the company's financial performance over a period. We want to assess the performance, the financial performance, financial activity of the organization, and see whether we are doing well or not. How? By preparing income statement or the profit and loss statement. When we prepare the income statement or the profit and loss statement, the result will tell us whether we are doing well or not. The result will tell us whether you are making profit or loss. And that is the essence of preparing this particular financial statement. So you should know if you are doing IT or HR or public admin or whatsoever, at the very basic level, now that you are moving to the strategic level as a manager, you should know when we say income statement, you should know that. You should know that. So that the income statement measures your performance as an entity. Hello? Are we together? Your income statement. So in the private sector, when you are preparing your income statement, the purpose of preparing the income statement is to determine your profit or loss. Because the main goal, the main objective, the main aim, the ultimate purpose of assessing the company organization's performance is, or the existence of the organization is to make profit. So how do you assess that? By preparing an income statement. If you prepare an income statement, you should be able to know whether we are making it or not. But then, this is not the case in the public sector. In the public sector, the objective, the goal, the aim of a particular public sector entity is not to make profit, true or yes. So if you are in the public sector and you are supposed to prepare financial statement, your number one is statement of financial position, which is your assets, liabilities, and so on. In the public sector, we don't have anything like, what do you call it? Equity. There's nothing like equity. Hello? In the public sector, if you are accountant in the public sector, there is nothing like equity. Owners, what do you call it? Property. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. In the public sector, if you are preparing financials, instead of equity, we have what we call accumulated fund. Accumulated fund. The reason I'm bringing this distinction is because majority of us are in the public sector. Hello? Hello? Are you with me? So don't go and challenge your accountant in the public sector and say, accountant, what is equity? And accountant say, equity is accumulated fund. And he say, no, it's not true. Accountant, it's not true. Please, I want to make it clear. When your accountant prepare financial statement and you look at the statement of financial position, don't expect to see equity. Expect to see what? Accumulated what? Fund. Hello. These are the terms. So accountants in the public sector use a particular standard in preparing their account, and the standard spells out the technical term that they are supposed to use. The standard that the accountant in the public sector use in preparing financial statement, we call it what? International Public Sector Accounting what? Standard. That is the standard that regulates the conduct and the practice of accountants in the public sector. But then in the private sector, they do not use IPSAS. They use what we call IFRS and IAS. In the private sector, if you are in the private sector and you are preparing financial statement, you must prepare it in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standard and also what? International Accounting Standard. The International Accounting Standard has some standards that are effective, some too are ineffective. So accountant will look at the effective ones under IAS. But when it comes to IFRS, almost all of them are effective. So in the preparation of your financial statement in the private sector, yes, in the private sector, you need to resort to the International Financial Reporting Standard and also International Accounting Standard. This brings me to an assignment that I want to give to all of us here. Yes, all of us. Class rep, where is the class rep? Senior, listen to this. You are going to group yourselves, and good. And we are talking about standards that regulate the conduct and practice of accountants in the preparation of these financial statements. In the private sector, we have what? We call it what? IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard, International Accounting Standard. These two, I will not say it anywhere again. The assignment here is this. You divide yourself into groups, and then you take the standards. IFRS 1, IFRS 2, IFRS 3. All those IFRS that are effective, that private sector accountants use in the preparation of what? Their financial statement. Take them one by one and divide them among yourselves. Add that of what? The International Accounting Standard. We call it IAS. Everybody say IAS. IAS means International Accounting Standard. Are we okay? Good. Those in the private sector, they use IAS and IFRS. The IAS, some of them are ineffective. Some of the standards have been superseded by others. But the one you are going to write on will be the ones that are active standards. The one you are going to write on will be the ones that are what? Active. Don't write on the inactive ones, the ones that have been superseded. No. For example, if you take IAS 4, IAS 4, it used to be depreciation. It is no longer effective. So don't write on that one. Are you okay? You only write on maybe IAS 1, IAS 2, IAS, what again? From 2. Do we have IAS 3? We don't have IAS 3. We don't have IAS 4. No 5, 6. But we have 7. 7 is what? The cash flow. So you take them one by one. Only write on the ones that are what? Effective. That is for those in the private sector. Are you okay? Hello? Then those in the public sector. So let me see those who are in the public sector. So you divide yourself like that too. So public sector people will write on what? IPSAS. All the standards. International Public Sector Accounting Standard. I'm doing this so that we'll be conversant with some of these things. When you become a director, you know the kind of financial report or financial statement you should request from what? From your accountant They are not the same. There's a bit of what? A difference. There's a distinction between the two. So let me know those who are working in the public sector, those who are working in the private sector. Divide yourself and take these standards and then write on them one by one. I'll collect it next week when we meet. Hey, somebody said, so when do you want to submit it? Next 2 weeks. Okay. This is an adult class, so do you say next 2 weeks or at the end of the semester or at the end of the year or at the end of the course? At the end of the course, eh? Yeah, this is an adult class, so adult class, eh? Yes, senior. So when you take the standard, for example, you take IAS 1, all that you know, go and please, one thing, I don't like, me, I'm a traditional consecutive man. Yes, yes, yes. If you say you should write on IAS 1, for example, some people will just go and do copy and paste. But the copy and paste that you do, write with your own handwriting. The moment you write with your handwriting, you can copy, but copy with your handwriting. The more you are writing, the thing is entering inside you. It is entering inside you. At the end of the day, at the end of this course, if you don't know anything at all, you know that, oh, once upon a time, they gave us an assignment and I wrote on IAS 1. Maybe you just go and copy, and then you type. I don't like typing. Me, I like traditional things. Yes. So write. I'll collect on a full-scap sheet. Write whatever you know about IAS 1 or IFRS 3. Just write. If it is 100 pages, just write. If it is 2 pages, just write. Yes. But you must give me relevant point, cogent point. Senior. Those are the private sector will write on International Financial Reporting Standard. Hello, are you getting me? Hello, if you are working in the private sector, write on, because your motive of existence is profit. Are you okay? In the public sector, it is not profit. Yes, my big man. How do you call them? COSI organization. Where we have PP, public-private partnership, sort of. Like Zoomlion. Zoomlion has is a PP. Are you okay? Good. So in that case, we will write more on private sector because Zoomlion, for example, is more private than what? Public. Even though government has its own shares in it. So why it is PP, write on private? Senior, as a government, do you understand? If, for example, a Zoomlion, if we have shares, what is the purpose of your existence? Let's just define it. Hello, senior, let's define the purpose of your existence or your mission as an entity. Are you in there to make profit? If it is for profit, then write on what? On the private sector. If it's not on profit, then the other way. Simply put, if you are my big man, is still not clear. You are fine. Oh, sorry for disorganizing you with my airway thing. As a government, it means, do you understand? I will teach all of you airway before we leave this class. Gamelio, there's no money. Gamelio, there's no money. Yes. Oh. Yes. So take any of them. That's why that one is the responsibility of the class rep. No, this one now, then let's suspend the group and do it individual. That will help me too. You see some of them. You see some of them. The issue here is, ladies and gentlemen, the issue here is that the moment I've even forgotten, normally I don't give group assignment. Normally I don't give group assignment. Why? Why? Because some people are there, they want to be ministers of finance. Some are the ministers of works and housing and so on. So for some, they say we are in the group, we are 5 or 3. The way we see you, you don't have money. You are a small boy. You are struggling to pass. So you do the work for us. The HGS and Co. will say we'll give you 500 Ghana so that you do the work for us. And that's what has been happening. We have experienced it over and over and over again. At the end of the day, HGS is giving him 500 Ghana. HGS doesn't know what he has written. So it will be true. So no group, in fact, we have cancelled group individual. I'll collect with attender. I'll collect it individual. Handwritten, not type. This guy is a very good guy when it comes to IT and the rest. That's why we have always been fighting, the two of us. When I'm going traditional, he's going technological. But traditional too is good. So he's now teaching me some techniques in technological things. So what we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that this one, I will insist, is no technology. Don't type for me. Write. Everybody say write. Write again, write. So take the standard. If you're in public sector, write on IPSAS. If you're in the private sector, write on IFRS or IAS. Period. Class rep. Only just one standard line. So class rep, what I'm saying is that look at the list. All those who are working in the private sector, take their names and all that. And then give them the standard. You can decide that the way I look at your face, I don't like you, so I'll give you IAS 10. Somebody say, oh, I like your face, so I'll give you IAS 1. It's your responsibility, not mine in this case. So class rep will do that. We'll do the allocation. Class rep do the allocation. So get a list of those working in the private sector, those working in the public sector. Those in the public sector, you still don't understand. Hello. Hey. All those who are working in the private sector, raise your hand. Hey, please, raise your hand. Okay, I beg your pardon. Hello. This one, I beg your pardon with your permission. Kindly stand up. This one, I beg you I don't want you to beg with your permission. Private, I'm talking about private. Private. I beg you with your permission. I'm not forcing you, but I beg you with your permission. Master, simply put, number 1, you are writing on IAS 1. You, fight man. IAS 1. Is it private? Put it down. IAS. So if you take IAS, IFRS rather, let's look at the consistent one. You are writing on IFRS 1. Are you okay? You, IFRS 2, IFRS 3, IFRS 4, IFRS 5, IFRS 6. Put it down. IFRS 7, IFRS 8, IFRS 9, IFRS 10, IFRS what? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, 17 is done. Now, so IFRS, so you are going to write on IAS. So I've ended with IFRS, still in the private sector. So IAS 1, you write on IAS 1. Master, you are going to write on IAS 7. You write on IAS 8. You write on IAS 12, income tax 12. Finish. Then public sector, stand up. Public sector, me, I've finished my work. Public sector, madam, I like, you are challenging me, eh? I like your own. So you are 1. IPSAS. We call it what? Public sector. Everybody say IPSAS. IPSAS. International Public Sector Accounting Standard. Are you okay? So you are one. Go and write on one. IPSAS 2, IPSAS 3, 4. And the one at the back is IPSAS 5. You are 5. Madam, you are 6, 7. Who is that? You don't worry, let him come. So you are what? 6. 7. 8. Master. 9. So a number like that. 10. 12. Good. 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 17. Good. Okay. You are 18. 19. 20. 20. 23. 23. All right. Madam, 24. Thank you. 26. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. Who is the last person? Alaji, you are 34, The last person there is 33. So Alaji, you are 34. I'm done. Those online, how many are they?
Yeah, so those online, we have about 20 people. We have about 20 people online.
20 people online?
Yeah.
Hey, class rep, get a list of those online. We can't get them now. Then we'll get them the rest of the standards.
So what we can do is that
they should send their IDs. Then we'll allocate.
Those online we can.
They should send their IDs so that we can allocate.
Okay.
Them.
Okay. Send your IDs and your full names to the course rep, so that he will put you together and allocate you the assignments.
No,
and indicate whether you're a public sector worker or a private sector worker.
I'm telling you.
So send your name, your ID, and then public sector or private sector worker.
International Public Sector Accounting Standard.
Confirm if you have understood the instructions.
Sector standard. IAS is also a private sector standard. It's a standard that regulates the conduct and the practice of what? Accountants in the private sector. Hello? The standard that regulates the conduct and practice of accountants in the private sector, we call it what? IFRS. IFRS or IAS. International Financial Reporting Standard. International Financial Reporting what? Standard. IFRS. And IAS.
Please check on the group.
Are you okay?
See notice by the person.
Those in the public sector, please, this is it. Those in the public sector, they are writing on IPSAS, International Public Sector Accounting what? Standard. And this one, if you are going to, public sector people, be very careful. If you are going to write this on this, write and write well. My PhD thesis is in this thing. When you write and you write bogus, you get 0. Because I can even close my eyes like this and be backing IPSAS. That's what I did. So please be very careful what you write, particularly those in the public sector. Me, I have told you already. Now, equity. Good. Hey, Maza. So under equity, these are the components. Now, we were on this. Now, in the income statement, profit and loss, we say that the income statement summarizes the company financial performance over a specific what? Period. Over a period, usually 1 year. How have we performed over this particular 1 year? Are we profiting or we are not profiting? Typically, a quarter or a year, it shows how much revenue and the company generates and expenses it incurred, resulting in the net profit. Are you okay? How much revenue have we what? Received? And how much expenditure have we made? Have we been able to manage this particular activity very well, revenue generated and expenditure that we have what? Incurred. So we are looking at the operational activities at this stage. The operational activities at this stage. Our normal operation. What comes in terms of what? Revenue. In terms of revenue. And what goes out in terms of what? Expenditure. So when it comes to revenue, we are looking at the income generated from the company's core business. Core business, most important business activity. That's sale of goods, provision of services. And types are sales revenue, what do you call it? Service revenue, and also interest income. What is the difference between sales revenue, service revenue, and interest income? Yes, who can tell us? All these are different types of what? Revenue. But they are for certain categories of what? Industries or organization. When we say sales revenue, what do we mean? So in the private sector, if you are preparing financial statement, you are looking at your revenue, your sales revenue. What kind of organization will you see this one? And also service revenue. And again, and also what? Interest income. Who can tell me? Yes. Thank you. You are there. And you have passed. I like you. You have passed. So entities that are engaged in buying and selling commercial activity. Commercial what? Activity. Entities that are engaged in buying, their revenue is sales revenue or sales or revenue. Are we okay? Good. So take for example, which particular company can we take? Yes. They call their sales revenue. Yes, which company? Buying and selling. Commercial. Okay, communication service. Vodafone, okay. Thank you. Yes, that's one of them. Buying and selling. Buying, come again. Nestle Ghana. Okay, revenue, good. Nestle Ghana. Buying and selling. So manufacturing companies and particularly those who are engaging, they go to Accra buy. Can we mention typical ones in Tamale? They go to Accra, they buy and sell. Yes. Or you are not from Tamale? Which organization? Popular organization in Tamale? Malcolm, you two, you are past. I like your hairstyle. Malcolm, they buy and sell. They are also into a commercial business, commercial activity. At the end of the day, when they are preparing their financial statement, number one is their revenue. Number one is their revenue. Good. What about service revenue? Organizations that are involved in what? Providing service. Example. Now, it brings us back to the hospitals, particularly the private hospitals. They provide what? Service. They provide service. So in that sense, their revenue is regarded as what? Service revenue. What about interest income? Thank you. Financial what? Institutions like the banks, the ADBs, the CBGs, the GCBs, the NIBs, and all of them. They don't call their own revenue. They call it what? Interest income. Why do they call it interest income? When they give out loans to their clients, the revenue or the money that comes to them is interest because they put an interest of, we are giving you 2,000. Pay an interest of what? 5% on it. Pay an interest of 5%. So the income that comes to them is regarded or referred two are interest income. Then the expenses, when we say expenses, we say costs incurred in the process of earning the revenue. So all the costs that we incur in arriving at the revenue, in earning the revenue, is regarded as what? Expenses. So for example, cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold or cost of sales, cost of goods sold is also is one of the major expenditures. Operating expenses, or operational expenses like what? Salaries, rent, utilities, all these are expenses. Are we okay? So we have the major expenses and also what? The minor expenses. The major expenses here is the cost of goods sold.
Why is that a finish?
The cost of goods sold here is a major expense under the expenditure line item. The minor ones are the other operational expenses, like the salaries, the rent, the utilities, the allowances, depreciation, and what? Amortization. When we say depreciation, what do we mean? Yes. Hello? Oh, are you with me? Please, at the end of today's lecture, I am going to ask everybody to tell me something he or she has learned. And that will be your class name. Hello? That will be your class name. Anytime you meet me in town, don't mention your name, mention your class name. So if I say, what did you say? Oh, I learned about depreciation. Then your name is what? Depreciation. So when we meet in town, and I say, what is your name? Tell me my name is what? Depreciation. There are times some people will say, oh, can you write a recommendation letter for me? Oh, I am Mr. Mensah, or I don't know Mr. Mensah. If you are really in my class, normally or usually, I give everybody what? A special class name. So the moment you say I should get, I should write a recommendation for you, I will ask of your class name. So if you are able to mention your class name, I don't ask of anything again. But just write a wonderful recommendation for you. Yourself, you'll be surprised. So make sure you get your name before we close this class. Adia, make sure you get a name for yourself. I'll ask everybody your class name, your class name, your class name. So if your class name is expenses, say I am expenses. Your class name is fixed asset, I am fixed asset or non-current asset. So try and learn something today. Good. Operating expenses. If your class name is salaries, just say my class name is what? Salary or rent or whatever. Good. Hey, somebody say equity. The thing is not coming out. Senior. So here, the result. Are we together? Hello, are we together? The result of the income statement will give you what? Your net profit or your net income. That is on one side. On the other side, on the flip side, if it is negative, it becomes what? Your loss. And how circumstance will you have your net profit? Yes. Who can tell me? And how circumstance will you have net profit? It's on the board, but I want you to say something. Yes. Thank you. I like that word. He is using the term, the technical term. When your revenue is more than your expense, in that sense, in that instance, you have what? You have what? Net what? Profit. We don't say net revenue. Hello? We don't say what? Net revenue. Just because your revenue is more than, then you say no. It is net profit. On the other way around, on the flip side, if your expenditure is more than what? Your revenue. In that sense, in that case, what do you have? What do you have? You have loss. So we have profit and also loss. So the difference between the totals, revenue and total expenses, represent the company's what? Profitability. So how do you get your profit? Total revenue minus what? total expenses. So it can even come in the quiz that you will be writing, true or false. So there will be a question that will put there that total revenue minus total expenses equals net profit. True or false? Hello, true or false? Huh? It will come in the exam, you'll be there. Or there'll be a question that net revenue is regarded as, or net revenue is not regarded, or is not, or cannot be total revenue minus total expenses. True or false? It will come in the exams. When they say net profit cannot be total this and minus this, then you are confused. Cash flow. Cash flow is the third component of what? The component of what? The financial statement. Cash flow. Cash flow. My boss.
Possible
Mm-hmm.
at what particular point will we expect our cash or total revenue to take our total expenses? And this possibility doesn't happen, or is it a matter that we must not declare profit?
Is it possible that everything is how do you call it? Your revenue equals what? Is that what they're saying? Revenue equals your expenditure. Revenue equals your expenditure. That one, it can happen. Under the surface of this earth, that one, it can happen. Where your revenue equals what? Your expenditure. But in fact, it's not, even you, senior, your salary that you take doesn't match your expenditure. Your expenditure most of the time is always more than what? More than your salary. And this is what has been happening in Ghana. The first budget that we prepared after the, what do you call it? The First Republic, during Kwame Nkrumah's time. The first budget that we prepared, that was the only budget that we had a situation where our revenue was more than what? Our expenditure. Budget surplus. Thank you. So from that time, 1962 up to date, it has always been budget what? Deficit. Ghana as a country. I'm telling you, from 1962 up to date, it is always what? Budget what? Deficit. We've got deficit financing. Always our expenditure is more than what? Our revenue. So what do? We write to the multilateral organization and institution and say, oh, World Bank, come over and support us. IMF, are you there? Come over and support. We call it what? Deficit what? Financing. So we call on these multilateral organizations and bilateral nations to come and support us. So we always prepare a budget. At the end of the day, the expenditure is so huge, the revenue is small. Then we call for these international institutions to come and support us. And when you look at the budget over the period, you see that this is what has been happening. Our expenditure is always more. Are you okay? Our expenditure is always more. Now, he has brought a very intelligent point here. In the public sector, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing like profit or loss. The difference between your revenue or your income in the public sector, your income, your IGF. In the public sector, you will not see anything like revenue. Those of you in the public sector, you are even more than those of us in the private sector. You will not see anything like revenue. You have what we call your income. Where from your income, number 1, GOG, number 2, IGF, number 3, grant, number 4, donations. All these are the revenue streams that comes to you in the public sector. So when your accountant prepare financial statement, don't expect to see revenue. Don't expect to see that. What are you seeing? You are looking for, oh, our IGF. How much is our IGF? How much is government of Ghana releasing to us, which is the GOG? So when you take your income, first one, GOG, second one, IGF, next one, donation, next one, grant, another one, scholarship. You look at all of those revenue. So when accountant prepare, you should see all this one. So if you don't see revenue like in the private sector, don't be confused. Hello, are you okay? In the same vein, when you come to the expenditure, the accountant's expenditure in the public sector, the way it is categorized and described is different from the private sector. In the public sector, the accountants, they have a discretionary expenditures and also what? Legislative expenditures. So they classify them. And this time around, there are three major classifications of what? Expenditure: compensation, capex, and another one. Who can tell me? Goods and service. Thank you. Goods and service. So goods and service compensation. These are the major classifications under what? The public sector financial statement. At the end of the day, the result is not profit. So in a situation where your income is more than your expenditure in the public service, is regarded as what? Oh, is regarded as what? Thank you. Are you in the public sector? The way you have dressed, it shows that yes. Are you a director? This is, huh? Oh, everybody clap for him. As everybody clap for him. Audit service. Look at him. That also that he is an auditor. Yes, he's an auditor. Yes, he's an auditor. Yes, the way he has dressed alone. And you wait. When we close, you see the way he's working. He will work like an auditor. Yes. Yes. If you get audit service, go. Master, connect them. Audit service. If you rise to the rank of, is it auditor general, they will pay you your salary until you decide to die. If you refuse to die, they'll continue to be paying your, if you retire on 100,000 Ghana cedis as auditor general, they will continue to be paying you that 100,000 until you decide that I want to die. But if you refuse to die, they will continue to be paying you that 100,000. Is that not the case? Yes. The auditor general. Now there are stuff they are fighting for that. So that when you go on retirement, you will stay on your salary, they'll be paying you your same salary. Not like some of us. The moment you go on retirement, your salary will just drop. Bam! Yes. So please connect us so that we all rise to become auditor general. Then they'll be paying us. By the way, who audit the auditor general? Yes. Who audit the auditor general? Huh? Oh, tell me. So that I'll give you $1 million. You try me and see. I'll give you $1 million. Who audit the auditor general? It will come in the exams. We are learning everything. Yes. So here's the question that comes. Who audit? You know, everything here we are doing is all about accounting. And we are exposing ourselves to some of these things. Because very soon, when you have your MBA now, you'll be aspiring for big positions. Like MP, like district directors, and so on. There was a case that happened some years ago in Parliament during the time of President Kufuor. A whole MP mount up the podium and say, oh, Mr. Speaker said, yes, MP. Whole MP, Mr. Speaker, who audits the Auditor General? Ladies and gentlemen, are you aware that it is written black and white in the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana? It is written there, black and white, that Parliament shall appoint a private independent auditor to audit the Auditor General, like KPMG. For Parliament to say, Auditor General, don't think you are above the law. The Constitution says that we should appoint independent Auditor General to audit you. That is what is stated clearly in the Constitution. And you, the custodian of the Constitution, the MP, you will not raise your hand and say, Mr. Speaker, who audit the Auditor General? What is that telling us? Huh? We don't read. The custodian of the Constitution. Everything is in the Constitution. That if you want to audit the Auditor General, go and appoint, Parliament must appoint, Parliament, you the parliamentarian, you must appoint what? Independent Auditor General, like KPMG, Pricewaterhouse, and the rest. Appoint them so that you go and audit the Auditor General. Then you are there raising your hand and say that, well, who audit the Auditor General? These are some of the things you go and disgrace yourself. Go and disgrace. The whole world was just looking at him. He says, look at this crazy guy. So if you don't know it, because tomorrow I know some of you will become MPs, directors, and so on. Don't go and be asking this question in Parliament, who audit the Auditor General? You'll be ashamed. Come again. It's not the final. The Constitution says Parliament must what? Appoint independent audit institution like KPMG, PwC, and which one again? Ernst & Young, those ones to audit. Yes, Master. In the case of Burkina Faso, we are in Ghana, we are talking about Burkina Faso. Yes, it is also bringing another very important issue. Can you also say that Public Accounts Committee? No, it talks of Parliament, but not PAC. Okay? PAC too, they have their own. PAC is one of the committees in Parliament. You know, in Parliament, we have a lot of committees. There are some Sahara committees and also some juicy committees. One of the juicy committees in Parliament is Committee on Health, Committee on Education, and Public Accounts Committee. If you're on that particular committee, you will really, really enjoy. It's a juicy committee. Yes. The only problem about what you call PAC is that they cannot bite. Thank you. They cannot bite. They cannot bite. So when you commit a malfeasance or you misconduct yourself, mismanage funds, and they call on you, they can only disgrace you in public. Unlike in Uganda, when the Public Accounts Committee, they meet, and then you are found culpable of a particular crime or financial malfeasance, the police will just be at the door. They will just grab you straight to the prison. But our Public Accounts Committee is not like that. Yes, Honorable. Yes, we do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alaji, what accounts for it is what is inside us. I don't know whether it is the blood that is our problem. Whether we have black blood, that is our problem. That you see, the time is moving. But the point is that we have problem. Are you okay? As a nation, we have a problem. You relax. We will come and take a course on that. A course on procurement. We'll come and take something on that. Yes.
Hello.
Hey, you don't want us to move forward.
Hello.
Huh?
Hello.
Let's listen to someone online. They're online people. Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Director.
Yes. Please, very quick one. This public account committee, can they recommend that police should pick somebody who was found in financial malfeasance?
Come again, please.
So I want to find out this public account committee. Can they recommend the security agencies
They do. Yes, for that one, they do. When you are found culpable of a particular crime, the Public Accounts Committee has the right, has the power to recommend that you should be what? Prosecuted. That one, they have the power. But they do not have the power to go and prosecute you. They can recommend that, oh, you have stolen 2 million Ghana cedis. Let me tell you one thing. In fact, because of time, I don't want to tell you stories. Now, case like that happen. Somebody mismanaged, so to say, or misappropriated an amount of close to about 100 million Ghana cedis. I'm telling you, serious one, 100 million Ghana cedis. And then auditors did the audit and they came out with the result. When they came out with the results like that, they were supposed to what? Report to, PAC. When PAC calls the people, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening in Africa and in Ghana, you have no idea. You have no idea. PAC called the case. It was huge. So they recommended that the police and the security agencies should handle this particular criminal offense against the state. Against the state. Master, against the state. Now, the one who did the audit, let me tell you something. The one who did the audit was Assistant Auditor General. Assistant Auditor General, Ghana here. So he's supposed to lead the prosecution and the state agency in the entire case because the money was huge. So the people decided that they will go and bribe this Assistant Auditor General. They will go and bribe him. His house was in Kaswa. So they went there one fine Saturday morning with money in Ghana must go plenty. Only God knows how much was in it. So when they got there to the Assistant Auditor General's office, house, they brought the money. This was a case where public accounts said, investigate. Now they want to do it. What happened? At the end of the day, the man says that, me, I'm Catholic. I won't collect. This money, I will not collect. He said, I will collect. He said, I won't collect. It will be a sin against me. They want to bribe you so that you just forget about the case. Do you know what happened? The wife was sitting there. Then the wife called the husband and said, Dad, me person me whom. They went inside. When they got inside, according to the man was my boss about so many years ago. He was my boss, Assistant Auditor General. So many years ago, he was my boss. So he told that the wife called him and said, damn, person me whom, when the people were there, with the money, Ghana must go. What happened? They say in the room, the wife said, yeah, say Jessica, Injie. So he told the wife that you can go and collect, but I won't what? Collect. Ladies and gentlemen, they did everything. The wife also did whatever. Eventually, the man says, I will not. Do you know what happened? That was on Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, Monday, this wonderful man, Assistant Auditor General, Monday, he was climbing up the stairs to his office. He got to the office and he said, these people who have come to bribe him, I'm going to show them. I'm going to collaborate with the security agencies so that we really punish these people, we jail these people. Master, so you got his suitcase and everything, removed the report, and then started working. Master, After some 10 minutes, this guy, very strong and energetic guy, after some 10 minutes, he just got stroke, boom, like that. African Electronics, thank you. He got stroke, and that is how he eventually died. Senior, my professor has come. Okay, okay. HOD.
During the break,
accounting, only accounting. Time card. Yeah, yes, sir. You see, hello, I won't be taking too much. Why? You want to, I don't know. Anyway, next time we'll just go fast. But the point I'm telling you is that the question that the gentleman has asked, together with what my friend Tui is saying, the issue is that we are corrupt. This is the situation where somebody wants to rob the security agencies so that we can flush out the criminals on the system. Now look at it. The Assistant Auditor General just died like that. At the point we were carrying him from one place to the other, they went to a place in Winneba, they removed some pellets, a bullet from his hand like this. The man really suffered for 7 years before he even died. That was his crime, just because I want to be genuine. I won't take what? Money. My friend, I hope you don't do that. Don't take the money. Even they give you $1 million, don't collect. Don't collect. Mother, you'll be a good auditor, so that when you die, you go to heaven. Hello. You people, you like provoking me to be giving you stories. Next time I will give you stories again. So that we'll look at the issues. All right, so my man is just prompting me that there is time. Don't worry, next lecture, we will not take so many questions. We'll try and finish this particular distance so that we move on to other important issues. So thank you very much.